Ship will self-destruct in 20 seconds. This is your last chance to push the cancellation button.
Cancellation button? Hurry!
Where is it? Where is it?
It's gonna be here. Out of order! Fuck!
Even in the future, nothing works.
This ship will self-destruct in exactly 10 seconds. Counting down. 10, 9, 8, 6.
6! What happened to 7?
Just kidding.
There's the other end! Faster!
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Don't touch that dial. It's Leo Valdez
Give him the skibbity paps.
and Hunter Horn
We're gonna need a wood motel.
with your pregame warm-up.
Yo, DJ, drop that beat.
Pick of the week, they be deadlocks. Most of these shows is dead wrong. PGW for the W. 100 count bands on his bed top. On our podcast, getting topped off. Swinging this stick like it's top golf. I'ma bust in the face. Then I'ma read you a verse. For Philippians verse. Put the cash in your purse.
Hello, everyone. We are joined always by the Homer, who is Hunter Horn, and yours truly, Leo Valdez. As always, you can follow us on YouTube at the Pregame Warmup, as well as on our Facebook page at The Official Lodge, and finally on our Instagram at The Official _Lodge _. Now, Hunter, I think we're going to go back to those days when we were like on the radio and it was just you and me, shooting back and forth. It's great, man. I love it. I miss it, It's just... So I'll ask real quick, what's your best takeaway from the Heat taking down the Knicks?
Vindication. Because, nobody expected this Heat team to get past the Bucks, and then everybody thought the Knicks were all that in a bag of chips. So it's good to see the Heat put their foot down and really, really, really just, establish that dominance at coaching. That is Pat Riley. That is Eric Spoelstra. Jimmy Butler's really come alive. But yeah, definitely the biggest takeaway is that, not only was the Bucks just not a fluke and a complete flop by the Bucks, it's the fact that then they went on to the Knicks, and now it's not just the Heat and the Celtics. You got the Nuggets and the Lakers. So, bubble club.
Yeah, and we'll get there shortly. Definitely. My whole takeaway from the game was, I say, vindication as well, and it's not for the Heat, but more for the Knicks, because a lot of people thought that this was a complete Knicks team. It is not a complete Knicks team. They still have a lot more work to do. I didn't even have them getting past the Cavs in reality, because there's still a lot of things that are just not fully put together, especially in their bench. And Randall is way too inconsistent. He has to do something more about that. I like the fact that Brunson did come out. He did do his thing, but RJ was quiet. And rather than take it to Game 7, they fell apart because, again, their bench is completely just it's off the wall nuts, in my opinion. That's just the way that I'm looking at it right now. But how about those Celtics, man? A memorable Game 7. Yeah, Jason Tatum, 51 points. And then, but here's the real question. Though. Will Embiid ever get to the Eastern Conference Final?
If he goes to Miami, he will.
So you think the Heat will make a play for Embiid to come down?
It's hard for me to say because, can the Heat even, afford that type of player?
I think it's not a member.
I don't even know if they could even.
I don't think it's whether they can afford it. I think it's whether it works for them, because they do need a big. They do need a big.
I mean, him and Jimmy played together there in Philly, bro. So they've got that chemistry.
Well, no, I'm not doubting the chemistry aspect of it. I'm more along the lines of, you're used to a certain way that you play and how you move and you rotate your guys. What does it do to bring in this big? What does it do to Bam? Do they lose Bam?
No,
They move him to the power forward. I don't see him wanting to take a lesser role in the team.
Already plays more or less power forward. He's definitely. He would have to because Joel Embiid would come in. He would be that enforcer down low. He would be that guy that's, the second-hand man to Jimmy, basically. Because Jimmy does need some help,
Right. No, I agree with that.
Listen. Here, I know you were telling me before the show that the Heat were gonna put up a fight and all this stuff. I think they'll win maybe a couple of games, but they're definitely in for a rude awakening with the Celtics. The Celtics are really good. Going back to Jason Tatum, did you know that him and Matthew Tkachuk, the assistant captain for the Florida Panthers, went to the same high school together and were best friends? Well, are
Really?
best friends.
I did
Yeah,
not
they
know
are
that.
best friends. Yeah, they were they showed they had old videos on ESPN. They were showing that they took together. in high
That's
school. So I
good
figured out
stuff,
just
man.
a funny thing to mention, little fun fact for everybody. But I think the Celtics killed the Heat, man. The Heat are tired. The Heat are running down.
The Heat do what the Celtics can't, and that is that they dominate from downtown. The Celtics still have not been able to do that. They do. I'm sorry, they hit a lot more of their threes than the Celtics do. I'm not at a point for points. Okay, all right. You're making me do this again.
I'm not making you do anything. I'm just.
You're looking at me funny, but I have to pull the analytics here because
You tell me
don't
one of the
believe me.
better three-point shooting teams in the league doesn't shoot 3 points.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
You're telling me one of the most proficient three-point shooting teams in the league doesn't shoot threes? I watched
The
them
Celtics.
hit
The Celtics are the most inconsistent team from 3 points for the regular season. For this playoff games, they actually improved going up against the Sixers. They were actually getting them down from downtown. Hold on a second. What was that?
There's no way they were bottom of the league in 3-pointers with Jaylen
Yeah.
Brown. No,
They
no.
were. They were a defense heavy team. They locked down teams from getting into 3 points. Oh my gosh. Not now that they've made the Eastern Conference Finals, all of a sudden they were the best team in the league. So
I'm not
let's
saying the best team in the league, Leo. I'm saying that I don't believe that they're the last team in the league in shooting percentage.
I didn't say last. I said they were bottom rung.
See that? I don't see that. We gotta get a stat check on that. And I think Cole joined.
Sure, yeah, I see him.
Oh,
Hey
okay.
Cole, what's up? How's it going?
Nothing much. I am a little curious to see what this new format is because I mean now.
Well, it's just us three, so we
Yeah.
we go back to an original format that we had early on in the show.
Okay.
Cole, do you know if the Celtics were a terrible 3-point shooting team this
No,
year?
I do not. But from what I've heard on Leo's take, I think that they were bottom ranked, but I'm not 100% sure. So I mean, I
They
feel
shot 34% from the three. That's not bad. But
That's for the playoffs.
That's not for the playoffs. That's the regular season.
Hold on, let me get a second opinion on this.
34% from beyond the
Also,
arc.
actually, I'll be right back.
It says they were ranked number 8th in the league. 2022-2023 season, 82 games. I'm just telling you. I like how Cole pulled up and then he was like, I guess to go.
I'll be right back. Yeah, it's all right.
Anywho, let's move on. Let's just move on.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I think that the Heat have had a better defense all postseason. They had a pretty good defense coming into the actual playoffs. You said it before. They were the top of their division. The play-in,
I'm back.
The play-in for them was kind of like almost a cheat for everybody because they came into the play-in looking like one of the bottom rung teams of the playoffs, but instead they were actually a lot better. And I don't know. I think they can take it to 7 games, but it really is up in the air. It wouldn't surprise me if the Celtics won, and it wouldn't surprise me if the Heat would steal it because they have that. They have the energy to do it. I don't think they're as beat up as it would be suggested, but let's see. All I know is that the Sixers kind of getting hot the way that they did and having that that momentum, it can count against the Heat. That's the one thing I see is that momentum is more on the Celtics side than it is on the Heat side.
Yeah, oh, definitely about the momentum. Like I said, I think the Heat are in for a rude awakening. You know who else I think are in for a rude awakening? Gosh,
How about them Lakers?
I think the Lakers are in for.
Okay, hold on. I got it. It took me a while. I had to surf through a bunch of the different.
Oh no, we figured it out already. It was 34%.
It's saying via ESPN, the Celtics 3-point percentage on the year was 37.7, which is about 3 percentage points more than they allowed.
So that's not bad. That's pretty good. That's not bad at all, Leo. From shooting from beyond the arc.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Right.
I'm just telling you when you're watching game 1 and they're not hitting a single three, you'll see it. It's just
I'll be happy.
Yeah, I know.
If they don't hit threes, I'll be happy. Because that's all they did to us last year was the three daggers.
Yes. I think that's why it's such a stark difference because they were number 1 in the East from 3-point last season. They were just hitting them all. They were literally a beyond the arc team.
Well, the Heat
hitting
were,
it from
and
downtown.
and
so were the Heat, and so it was kind of crazy that both these teams
the
last
Heat were
year
hot from 3 until they got to that Eastern Conference final, and then it fucking dried up, bro.
Also, guys, look at this. I figured out a way to where my hat isn't static on both sides. Because like, if I go like this hat, like the end parts are basically just non-existent. But if I go like this, maybe there's more static like on my face, I guess. But my hat's pretty much fine.
It's all right. I'm all over the place over here too, Cole. So it's no big deal. But good eye. But my question is, do you think, Cole, that the Lakers are in for a rude awakening going up against the Nuggets?
Honestly, I think they are because, I mean, if you look at the Nuggets, a lot of people have undervalued that team all year, saying like, oh, yeah, they're going to be a first-round exit or they're going to be a second-round exit, not going to make it that far. And here we are in the conference finals. So far, the Nuggets have really proved everyone wrong in that respect. And
right.
Based on like the Lakers, and if you look at their whole season, I was expecting the Lakers to maybe even lose to the Grizzlies in round 1. And based on how all the playoffs are going so far, I wouldn't be shocked at all if the Nuggets end up winning that series.
Right. I can see the Nuggets doing something more along the lines of what they did to the Suns. Basically, there's so much offense that they don't really need to play defense, because if you just have 1 or 2 guys with good shooting averages and then you have your rest of your team and your bench is struggling, the Nuggets will take you, because between their bench and their starters are just going to hit you with low percentage shots, taking you out. I mean, just point by point. That's just the way that they are. What do you think, Hunter?
Cool.
Say again?
I think the Lakers will have their hands full.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I'll just ask this question really quick, Hunter. Do you have the Lakers? I'm sure you have the Nuggets. You have it in how many games?
I got the Nuggets in 6.
Nuggets in 6, all right.
I'd
Cole, what about
agree
you?
with that.
Okay, all right. And so I'm gonna say the Nuggets in 5.
Okay.
And then Heat, Celtics, Hunter.
I got Celtics in. This is gonna hurt me. I got Celtics in 5.
Yes. Wow. So okay. What about you, Cole?
I know it's kind of repetitive based on what I said for the Nuggets-Lakers series, but I was going to say Celtics in 6.
Okay, so the Celtics in 6. I will actually say the Celtics in 7. And it's mainly because both these teams are on momentum, and I have the feeling that the Heat probably can steal 1 at their away, and they can win their 2 at home. It's pretty tough to play in the American Airlines Arena, and we've been there many times over watching those games. So I think it'll be.
So you're saying they'll lose the first 2, win the second 2, lose game 5, win game 6,
and take it to 7, yeah. But I still have the Celtics taking it in 7.
Oh, that's just an interesting take. With the Celtics going up 2-0, I feel like they fucking.
Well,
sweep
I
it.
think that they're gonna. I think actually, I have them splitting the first 2 games at Boston. Then the Heat kind of going on a tear, getting that 3-1, and everyone thinks that they're gonna be able to keep that momentum going. And then I see this. I see the Celtics getting theirs back at home, and just going on a skid and just winning the next 3 games after that.
Very, very good.
They're a very come from behind team. The Celtics don't do well very much ahead, and sometimes the Heat don't either, because the truth is that game against the Knicks, it almost looked like that game was going to get away from them too.
They look like they're just fine with the lead with the Sixers.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, I asked this question earlier to Hunter. I'll ask you, Cole. Do you think that Embiid will ever get to the Eastern Conference Final, or even the NBA Final for that matter?
Well, I mean, I think he will. It's just a matter of who the 76ers surround Joel Embiid with, which is actually kind of funny because, I mean, they even had a pretty good team when they were close to the Eastern Finals before, even when they had Jimmy Butler, but then they lost to the Toronto Raptors, and then that kind of all fell apart. So really
Right.
just it's a matter of what the Sixers will do in like the next 2 to 3 seasons, because if they don't make the NBA Finals or Conference Finals like before then I don't really see a huge window for them to make a finals run after that.
All right. Well, we talked a little bit of basketball, so I'm actually going to jump a little bit in from our outline here, and I'm actually going to talk really quick about Mr. John Morant, who has been suspended again, but this time by the team, for brandishing a gun on Instagram. Hunter, fair or foul?
Well, the suspension definitely fair. Like, the fact he didn't go to, he wasn't jailed for bringing a gun into the club the first time was already, stretching it. He definitely needs to be done for a full 81. That's it. Sit him and let him think about his actions, man. Because, I mean, it was quick or whatever, but he's in the car. He's with friends. It's like...
I mean, he just signed a deal, though.
Uncle Sharp was saying, man, you got to surround yourself with the right people, and he's just not surrounding himself with the right people.
But he signed a really big deal, and he's going to get that year guaranteed, even if he doesn't play.
No, if he's suspended, I believe it's in all of the NBA players' contracts. If they're suspended for stuff like that, they don't get paid for the season.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I think it's probably going to be something like that too. Because if you look at the stuff that happened with Antonio Brown, he had guaranteed money with certain teams after what happened with all the drama surrounding that.
Right, but the NFL Players Association is a lot different than the NBA's Players Association.
That's true.
So we'd have to look into that. But I think that, honestly, in this instance, I'm going to cry foul a little bit here, because he wasn't doing anything illegal, actually. He was just not honoring his NBA contract fully. And honestly,
Leo,
I think
judge ordered him to not be around firearms. He has a court order. Yes.
Man, you make me look stuff up all the time.
Yeah, dude, that's why I'm like, this guy needs to go to jail. He violated friggin' his terms of whatever, not having to go to fucking...
So he was, no, but I thought he turned down bail. I thought he was pled no contest and had to go to rehab.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they gave him like a 90-day order where you can't be around friggin' firearms. I could have sworn I read that somewhere, that they said he had to go to rehab and attend classes.
Right, for which he did.
And then that he was prohibited from being around firearms for 90 days. Has it been 90 days?
That I'm not 100% sure, because he hasn't been arrested yet.
Time frame.
Oh, I thought he was arrested.
No, he wasn't arrested. He was just caught on Instagram brandishing a gun in a car, and it's kind of like,
foul for. Yeah, but Leo, dude, like.
oh, I understand. Listen, it's foul, but with an understanding. This guy has been very reckless, and so you got to remove the recklessness. You got to remove the recklessness out of it, and you have to treat each instance kind of separate, but at the same time, you also have to see, is there a pattern? And there is a distinct pattern where he is being very irresponsible with. I'm sorry, anybody who's irresponsible with a firearm, they need to have guns taken away from them.
If you worked at Walmart, Leo, okay, and that video came out of you, you're fired the next day.
Right. I'm not saying. I'm saying he's just you being irresponsible with a firearm in and of itself there should be some fine, something has to be towards his offense. But I think this has more to do with his past all catching up with him more than it has to do with the truth is that the first incident should have gotten him suspended for a whole season, not this. That's why I kind of cry foul. It's kind of like, I'm sorry, you guys keep putting the cart before the horse, and you're punishing players after they're reoffending, rather than actually nipping it in the bud and saying we're not zero tolerance means zero tolerance. That's just the way that I think.
You know what time it is, Leo?
It's time to talk about those NHL playoffs and the Panthers.
No, it's time for Hunter's random what if question of the day.
Oh no, why are you doing this to me
again?
again?
It's Cole's first time, so here we go. Gentlemen, would you rather have the ability to teleport but you arrive naked, or the ability to fly but it gives you explosive diarrhea?
You know what?
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say the ability to fly. This is a tough one.
With the explosive diarrhea?
Yeah, with that. But when you have that, I mean, you can basically just make sure that you're like in a bathroom where you're by yourself, not around other people. Maybe not necessarily like a public bathroom. Like, let's say like you're staying.
Like when you take off, it gives you
fly with your family to like book a hotel, and then you go to the bathroom in that hotel bathroom. Or you go in the bathroom like.
But I guess it just depends on the instance of the question. You're saying teleport, arrive naked, fly, and while I'm flying, I have explosive diarrhea.
Like bad. Like you gotta stop what you're doing and.
Well, I just stop what I'm doing.
I'd rather just teleport and arrive naked and just keep.
I mean, maybe if there's like a restaurant where it's like, oh yeah, you have to be a customer to go to the bathroom there. You buy maybe like a $10 item or something like that, and then you go to the bathroom there. But like,
no, if every time you take off,
I'm going to buy something. I'm just really need to go to the bathroom. You go to the bathroom, and then you buy something at the
naked, man.
Yeah,
Dude.
I'm teleporting naked. I'm just making sure that I'm like.
Fly away. You got to turn around.
Yeah. Not even. You don't even make it around. You're like up and oh my god.
Yeah. I would definitely teleport and arrive naked.
Yeah, I teleport and arrive naked, and I just make sure it's going to my I'll teleport to my bedroom.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to hear what everybody in the comments have to say, man. Let us know.
All right, so time for a little good news. The Panthers have actually made it to the Eastern Conference Championship. They're going to be going up against the Carolina Hurricanes. And it seems that the Panthers can probably win this one, mainly because they had the Hurricanes number during the regular season, but you and I both know postseason's postseason.
Well, the previous season they did. This regular season, the Carolina Hurricanes won the series. I believe it was 2-1. I think we only played 3 times.
Yeah.
But
they were relatively close games. They weren't.
They've got a lot of speed. You got most of their heavy guns are injured. So I personally, I don't even know if I want to say it because I want to jinx them, but I do have the Panthers in 6 over the Carolina Hurricanes, just based on the playing style. I think the the Panthers defense will shut down the Carolina Hurricanes offense. And I believe at that point it's who has the better goaltending. And of course, after everything we've seen this postseason so far, I would say Bobrovsky is the best goaltender in the league.
Also,
right
we have a comment on the would you rather question.
Yeah. Our buddy Remy goes ahead and says teleport naked, easy.
And
Yeah.
J Rod giving me that luck. Make sure you say slam Carolina.
Right there.
Slam Carolina.
Oh, wow.
J-Rod's been wrong twice in a row, so let's get that third.
So okay, so I think honestly, I have the Panthers winning. I have them kind of taking it to 7 only because honestly, they perform better on the road. They beat teams at their house when they really want to put in that statement game. But I honestly believe between taking on the Leafs, taking on the Bruins, they are beat up. So there might be 1 or 2 games where they're not going to give it 100%.
I think it's Panthers in 6 because I think they'll steal 2 over there in Carolina, not the first 2. I think they lose game 1, they'll win game 2. Carolina has 1 playoff win on the road in the playoffs. They are a horrible fucking road team.
Right.
So the Panthers probably win both games at home. So they'll be up 3-1. They'll probably drop game 5 there in, or no, sorry. They'll maybe probably lose 1 at home because the Panthers aren't the best at home.
Right.
Then they'll pick up game 5, and then they'll grab game 6 at home.
All right. I hope so. But it wouldn't surprise me if it went to 7 games, mainly because the Panthers are the road team.
It wouldn't surprise me if the fucking Panthers got swept. That's my luck. That's my fucking luck. But,
What about you, Cole? Have you become a Panthers believer?
Yes, I actually have, because Hunter has convinced me after the first series against the Bruins, which I thought the Panthers were definitely going to lose, that the Panteras would make a huge playoff run. So I am a Florida Panthers believer. I really don't know that much about hockey, but I mean, yeah, I'm definitely a believer in the team, and I think they can win the series, but I don't really know in how many games or anything like that because, I mean, like I said, I don't know that much about the Carolina Hurricanes. The only thing I really know about the team now, besides the fact that they're the Hurricanes and they're in Carolina, is the fact that they won an NHL imperialism video that I watched on YouTube. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that I think it's just going to be a good. I mean, the playoffs are good. It's just so great. I like watching them, not just necessarily because there's South Florida teams on there, but because you've had teams that were bottom rung teams that are actually, I mean, both the Heat are in the Eastern Conference Championship. They were a bottom rung team, even though technically they really shouldn't have been. And then the Panthers being a number 8 seed going in to the Eastern Conference Champions. They played. I think honestly, Hunter said it before, but I'll say it, that they have literally beaten the 2 best teams in the Eastern Conference.
Well,
What?
Yes, come playoff time, because I'd say playoff Toronto is better than the Canes. Season Canes was better. But yeah, definitely. The Panthers have already taken out the 2 top dogs. And I mean, Cole, I was really explaining to you how big of a juggernaut Boston was. Boston only lost, 21 games all season long. And 6 of them came from the Panthers.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so we had their number. We had them figured out. I remember Paul Maurice, he came out and he said, "Don't worry, we're going to dismantle and embarrass this team." And everybody,
Because I mean, if it wasn't for the Panthers, they might have just completely almost swept the entire playoffs and won the.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because if the Bruins had played the Rangers, they would have swept the Rangers.
Came into play again this year.
Yeah. The Bruins were definitely not happy that the Penguins lost to the Blackhawks and let the Panthers in the playoffs. Panthers barely in, man.
Well, as a Chicago Blackhawks fan, I'm just happy we're able to get that win, and we got the number 1 overall pick. So let's go.
That's right. This guy's got Connor Bedard or whatever it is.
Oh, okay.
So Remy's changed his answer.
he combined the 2.
Meanwhile, you fly, so you can shit clean. Wait.
Wait,
Might-
no, but then you'd be going to the bathroom on like.
He wants to change his answer to fly naked.
You know
Just
what?
fly
That's not
naked.
bad because I've actually done that while on balconies, like but with yogurt and stuff. So, but imagine being able to really do it. I've done that. I've legit hit people.
I do not want to be
Like,
doing that to people.
Oh my god! I remember at Jordan's. I was so drunk, bro, and he was taking forever in his fucking bathroom that I watered his. He was on the 4th floor, and I watered his 1st floor neighbors' plants for them. Great aim, bro. It's like I was born for the military.
Oh my god.
Okay, moving along. Staying with the hockey theme, the Kraken are currently in Game 6 against the Stars, but will it make a difference going up against the Golden Knights for the Western Conference Finals? Hunter?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what, man? If it's Dallas and the Knights, I got the Knights all the way. If it's the Kraken, I'll be honest with you. The Kraken might shock the fucking world.
Wow, because that's 2 expansion teams, and the earliest expansion team would be, according to you, would be the one taking down the Golden
Yeah,
Knights.
no, I was
Wow.
gonna say the same thing. It would be pretty cool to see 2 expansion teams in the conference finals.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like this is huge. You know, like the NHL definitely wants to expand the market. So
And they've done a good job of
either
that.
Vegas
Like,
or Seattle are both giant hockey markets.
Yeah, I know, but I know you don't like the Golden Knights, and that's for...
I fucking hate them, bro, because they stole one of our fucking
it
players.
was pretty
bro.
funny. Like
Oh,
going back
oh.
to the YouTube
Hold
video
on.
that I saw when they had the Hurricanes winning all the the Hurricanes were one of their favorite teams, and they absolutely hated the Golden Knights. It was pretty funny.
But go ahead, Hunter.
Yeah,
tell him why you hate the Golden Knights.
About 6 years ago, the Panthers had a squad that was like ready to go fucking win a Stanley Cup.
Mhm.
And that off season, they formed the fucking Knights, and this was before they revised the expansion draft for the NHL with teams being able to protect more people and all this. And the Golden Knights went to everybody's rosters and took like they couldn't take the All-Stars, but they took the next best thing, which was your future All-Stars. And they fucking came to the Florida Panthers, bro, like if it was Black Friday. They took one of our goalies, they took 2 of our shooters and our defensemen, they left us pilfered. And then they went to the Stanley Cup final that same year.
That's crazy.
Just like the Panthers did. Because the Panthers did the same thing when we were formed. We went to everybody's fucking town.
Wait, so what year were they an expansion team?
So the Panthers were an expansion team in 96, and the Lightning were an expansion team in 94.
What?
Okay. So I was gonna say, if
You
they
sure
were
it wasn't
an expansion
95,
team
Hunter?
in like the 2010s,
What,
then
the
that actually
Panthers?
would have made me feel
Panthers were
better.
96, 97.
Because I didn't really know that they were a team until a few years ago.
Who? The
The
Florida
Florida
Panthers?
Panthers.
Oh,
Yeah.
well then.
I mean, it's kind of funny because like
And then
I
the
can
Light-
name every single NFL team like just off the top of my head, and if you showed me every NBA team, I'd be able to name every NBA team. But with the MLB and NHL, I don't think I can name every team in the world.
The inaugural season for the Florida Panthers was 1993.
No.
And the Lightning were in 92.
That's what it is. Oh,
That's
okay.
what yeah.
Right,
So you just have, because 96,
Oh,
I'm like 96 was when they went to the Stanley Cup, 96, 97. That was their Stanley Cup appearance against the Avalanche. And I was like, no, they were here before
I
then.
thought
They
it was their first season. I thought it was their first
Yeah, that is
season
pretty funny.
Cup run. I thought
And yeah, going off the hockey theme, thanks for providing the 2 insights for my Florida Panthers, Boston Bruins post. Like, like the 2 quotes.
Oh yeah.
And then also, it kind of stinks. Like when I made the meme about like the Blackhawks saying like, "Oh yeah, we could actually have people go to our games. We got the first overall pick." That post got some likes. It didn't get like a ton of likes though.
Yeah.
It's like, I
Oh,
was telling you it was the meme where like everyone's like, "Oh yeah, the draft lottery's rigged. It's so unfair." And then like the Blackhawks,
well,
were like,
the Blackhawks
"Let's
are
go.
punished as an
We actually-
organization.
we can actually have people go to our games.
So Team USA took down Germany today in the at the IHFF. So goodbye to the Nazis, and will move on, I believe, to take on Canada now. So that'll be a good one. And it was funny.
Oh, Canada.
Goalie with Sam Montembeau, which was a former Florida Panther goalie, he got hurt, and the backup actually didn't have his goalie pads because they lost them at the airport. So he had to wear. They had to go to the pro shop at the stadium, and he was in mismatching pads and everything.
Oh, and then
That's
having
crazy.
to break in that gear. Oh, forget it, man. That's the worst. Oh, oof. That's tough. That's tough eggs right there. So let's move on from hockey. Cover a few more things happening in the news before we go ahead and call it a night. Matt Ryan, also once known as Matty Ice, has signed a deal with CBS as an NFL analyst. However, he has said this does not mean he's retiring. Gentlemen, will anyone ever take a chance on Matt Ryan at quarterback? I'll start with you, Cole.
I don't know. Because, I mean, I thought he was actually going to retire in this offseason. So I'm not 100% sure because, like, the Colts have had, like, a bunch of, like, veteran quarterbacks over the past couple of years, and they did take a chance on Matt Ryan. He didn't really perform, but, like, maybe some other team would take a chance on him. But when it was all said and done, I thought he was going to retire this offseason or maybe next offseason. And the fact that, like, he would still want to maybe play for a team after he signed a broadcast deal. It's actually kind of funny. That does remind me of Tom Brady because he signed the deal and is like, oh, yeah, no, I'm going to go back to the Bucs. But then now he's actually retired. So we'll see what happens.
That's right. How about you, Hunter? What do you think about what does the future hold for Matt Ryan?
You just like to remind me of horrible events of my life, don't you?
I have no. Come
Wait,
on,
are you
man.
are you a Falcons
You have the
fan?
world. Well, no. He is just watching the Patriots win the Super Bowl.
And rather than taking Justin Jefferson first overall, I called Leo up and I said, Leo, Matt Ryan threw more to his running back than to any running back, and he made Cordero Patterson look like fucking what's his name that was on the Rams that year? Oh my god! It's
Todd Gurley?
Good year, Todd Gurley. Yeah,
Todd
he made him
Gurley,
look
yeah.
like Todd Gurley. I gotta take fucking
Matty Ice is my quarterback, and I was like, why would you do such a thing? Why would you get the world's biggest choke artist and throw him at quarterback? It makes no sense to me.
Because he lost a 33-0 lead against the Vikings.
He didn't just do that. He did it again the following season in the regular season. He's up against the Minnesota Vikings, and he literally gave the game away. Get out of town.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's crazy.
I'm sorry. Listen. I'll talk to you. Go ahead, Hunter. Go ahead. Let Hunter go. Let Hunter go. Let Hunter go.
I was kind of a Falcons fan because they're like one of my favorite teams. Because I've been a Bears fan my whole life, but maybe they're like top 5 favorite teams, maybe. But then like I was like, let's go! The Falcons are up in the Super Bowl because I was actually rooting for them over the Patriots. Since
everybody was surprised about what happened, Cole. But go ahead, Hunter. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I can't remember now.
I'm sorry, Hunter. I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
I remember Matt Ryan when he went to play for when he was playing for Boston College and everybody was so high on Matty Ice coming over. He was gonna do something in Atlanta, and I was like, he can ball, but a lot of people don't know when it comes down to the pressure. Matt Ryan choked a lot in college. It wouldn't surprise me if he did it in the league. And then not only did he do it in the league, he did it in the worst ways. I think the only thing he is fit to do right now is to stay as an analyst and actually announce his retirement. He would be doing everyone in the NFL a favor. Go ahead, Hunter.
Yeah, I remember what I was going to say. You know, it'll be interesting if Jeff Saturday comes back to ESPN. Because like the Colts were a hot fucking mess, and then they hired him, right? And he got absolutely obliterated by the same people he was on this show with and friends with and stuff. They're like,
well, I mean, I'm kind of glad he came over there because
the fuck he's
the Colts got worse, and then they lost to the Texans, and that gave the Bears the number 1 overall pick. So, I mean, I'm not complaining.
Right. So, with All right, anywho.
Will anyone ever take Matt back, Hunter?
Hopefully not.
There had to be a plane full of NFL quarterbacks that would secretly disappear in the middle of the night for Matt Ryan to ever get a job as a starting quarterback in the NFL. At least I firmly and truly believe that. Now, last but not least, we're going to talk a little UFC. Conor McGregor says he wants to make history before hanging up his gloves for the UFC. His goal is to surpass the knockout record, which is currently set at 13. Do we have the over or under for this? Hunter, you first. Let's give Hunter time to answer this one. I need to know. Do you think Conor gets to 13?
Wait, Conor McGregor's fighting again?
Yeah, he's still fighting. He's still technically a fighter for the UFC. He's still a licensed fighter. I have no idea whether he's got anything scheduled right now, but he basically says he wants to keep fighting until he gets the knockout record, which he's got 8 right now. He's at 8. He wants 13.
I mean,
knockouts are hard. TKOs are easy, but for somebody who's been knocked out more.
Real quick before I throw it over to Cole, because I'm interested in what Cole has to say too.
I know nothing about the sport.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Hang on.
If you're saying like he's a veteran, he's a veteran in the league thingy.
Cole, hang on. Just to finish real quick before I forget, Leo, can his legs hold up? Because they both been broken in half, I believe. Can they even hold on? That was the best. You know what? Real quick. I have to say Conor is the most entertaining fighter out of them all because he's laying there with a broken leg and he's like, "Yo, wife's in my DMs." Greatness, bro. What do you think, Cole? So, because I know you said you don't watch.
Yeah, no, I don't really watch the sport, but since you're saying like he's like a veteran fighter and has to get like 5 knockouts, and I mean, I even kind of know that it's pretty hard to get a knockout, and I mean, considering he doesn't have that many fights scheduled and all that going into play, I mean, I don't think he's going to get the record. I mean, he might. I don't really know. I mean,
what if
he'd probably have to fight more than 5 opponents to do that.
What if he transfers to the women's division? He becomes transsexual.
Well, would that count towards the record or no?
Why not?
He would be a licensed UFC fighter.
Hey, dude.
Well,
listen,
I mean, if you include both
McGregor and Alexa Grasso go at it, bro, I'd pay good money.
Stat lines, then I mean, maybe I don't know. I mean,
be like
time will tell, I guess.
I would say like I have the under on this. Conor has to be able to like last most of his fights or go for the early KO, which he has not been able to do in a long time. So no, I have him on the under at this. I see him giving it a go. There is rumor about him and Paul doing a boxing MMA pound for pound. They want to do a boxing match first and then blah blah. It's all about that entertainment factor. That's which what Hunter was alluding to.
I'm not. That boxing shit's fucking. That's all rigged, bro.
Especially what happened with the last fight. Well, that will conclude. That will conclude this edition of the pregame warm-up. Be sure to give us a follow on Instagram at @theofficial_lodge. Also, don't forget to catch us in action. I have the Lions Den always on 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 a.m. Central. You can check me out every weekday. You also have Hunter every now and again. You got to stay tuned. You never know when that midweek check-in comes in. And go ahead, Hunter.
And make sure y'all check out Cole's Instagram page. What is it again?
It's CK5 Sports.
Any underscores there?
Yeah, the CK5_sports.
There you go.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah, and also we are hoping that at one point.
And shout out to TK. Shout out to his podcast Team Swag. He's over on Spotify and Audible. So make sure y'all check him out too. Sorry.
All right. And as always, this is Leo with Hunter and Cole saying you've been listening to your Pre-game warm-up.
Stay classy.